All right, so welcome people to another episode of Game. My name is Rob. I'm an old man. I have certain proclivities. One of them is reconnecting with with old alumni, friends, alumni of Tufts University, the prestigious Tufts University, and of which alumni are, of course, esteemed. And I got one today, esteemed alumni. Sir goes by the name of Justin Roberts, class of 2016. Yes.
Yes, sir.
There we go. You were majors were entrepreneurial studies, entrepreneurial leadership.
Major was architectural studies and minored in entrepreneurial leadership. Yes.
Ah, I can't be messing that up, but I got you. All right. So architectural studies, entrepreneurial leadership, and this man got the shout out from one of Tufts heavy hitters, Jack Derby.
Jack is a good guy, a great professor.
Great professor, good guy, great professor. But to frame this, understand that Jack Derby is one of the few professors at the school who students love to reach back to, because Jack Derby is an integral part of entrepreneurial studies at the university, and he routinely reaches back to alumni for alumni to come back to the students, and for the alumni to give a speech and to really break down how to succeed in the real world. And the alumni love him for it, and Jack loves the alumni for it. And Justin was one of the more recent alumni who have came back to the school and really broken down the field of sales and connections to students. So this is the man we're talking to, esteemed, the man with the gift of gab. And I'm not talking about myself.
Rob, it is great to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Can't believe that he gave me the corporate answer, but I like it. This man's professional at all times. At all times. Now, so we'll go back into the past early on, but to start, let's jump right into the entrepreneurial studies and entrepreneurial leadership. You're doing architectural studies, and we'll get into the backstory in a little bit, but what about you? What do you think, in your opinion? What about you what about you and your journey from during your Tufts career made Jack Derby say, you know what, I want this guy to give the students a rundown of how sales has to go in the real world? Or better yet, if I'm wrong about what you talked about, please tell me what you talked about.
Yeah. So Jack taught a marketing and sales class, for lack of a better term. And what this class did was really show you how businesses and how companies think about building a product and coming up with their marketing scheme. So he introduced, he'd bring in some of his actual clients, and he'd have his students participate in groups, to come up with what the best marketing plan is. I currently work at an SEO company, and SEO is search engine optimization. So that means that essentially if you think about Google, it's a highway, and every company is a billboard on this highway looking for your attention. How can you come to me? So I sell technology, which helps, companies rank higher for the keywords that they care about, the products and services that they sell. So I come to the class to talk about specifically what the channel is about, specifically Google, Bing, Yahoo, Baidu, all of the search engines. And I talk about why it's important to value this. Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, every customer, every prospect is on their desktop, on their smartphone, and they're looking for products and services that you sell. If I'm looking for black shoes, Nike wants to rank for black shoes, so does Reebok. How can I become number one for that specific keyword? So my job is to just explain to the students, what I do specifically, managing a customer base and specifically keeping the relationship and making them happy, keeping them on the circle, keeping them in the business. So that's what I was, demonstrating to the kids in real time.
Oh snap! You probably getting them. You probably gave them about like, let's say, a 2 year head start on their careers in business just by you being over there.
You're kind. No, I mean, it was great. The feedback was fantastic. A lot of people reached out. They're just interested. They think what I do is kind of cool. So no, I hope that I definitely taught them something. And the great thing is that Jack invited me back, so we're going to give more presentations to this class. The feedback was was pretty powerful.
Hey man, you have, if for those who don't know, J Rob has always had to piggyback of what J Rob said about being powerful. Power is not only about enforcing will, but it's also about influence. J Rob has been an influential individual for the majority of wherever he's gone. The man has made waves. Let's say that. You may not think of the ocean as powerful, but everyone knows you don't mess with it. So that's how I like to think of Justin, because he's someone that has his own gravity, but you're not put off in being around his orbit. Now let's get into the origin story, because a person with his own gravity like Justin came from somewhere. So let's start in high school. You went to BC High, you local kid in Boston. Describe your times in BC High and how you got to Tufts.
So Boston College High School, all boys high school, very, very competitive. I played football and basketball, which I loved, and did okay, pretty decent, in school. Not an A student, not a C student. We did all right.
Yeah.
And then it was good. I mean, that place definitely matured me, and it was just good. Some of those dudes are my best friends still to this day. And I was lucky that Tufts reached out to me and asked if I wanted to come play football, and I was just like, I remember before a basketball game that my parents were at, and I get a call from the coach, and he's like, "Do you want to come to the school?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to hop in a game. Like, let me call you after this." And I called my parents right after, and they're like, "Yo, Tufts just called me. They're like, do you want to come here?" And my dad was like, "Just go play the game. We'll talk to you after." And then it's just like an easy decision. I had never heard of the school before. They did, and then we went to go visit it. I mean, I'd never been north of Boston like that. There's no reason to ever go there, right? The South Shore. So it's just like, well, how did I ever go up there? So I went there. It was pretty sweet. I had a great time, and I was just like, this place is. I could see myself here. Okay. It's a beautiful place.
And then you went in Tufts 2012. What was the first weekend like? What was it like stepping onto the campus? Was it everything that you thought it would be? Were you overwhelmed, or was it just like, hey, yeah, you on football, so you're like, I got stuff I got to handle. I'm in camp right now.
Well, no, I mean, the first weekend, you just meet the football team, and then the people who have been there from summer camp. So you see people, but you actually don't know anybody really but your teammates, because you're in the conditioning, you're in whatever kind of regimen that they have you. So that being said, the very first weekend, we actually went on an Africana retreat, which was pretty sweet. So it was all the Black people in realistically, all the Black people, in my grade. And then from majority of the grades up, we went to, I think, someplace in Cape Cod for a weekend. So you got to meet all of the the people that look like you in one big setting. So you had your community right off the bat. So that would I say, because I remember we got pulled out of practice, and our coach was like, "Yeah, absolutely, go for that, go do that." And then we come back. So that was really, I think, my first experience, meeting Tufts kids, which was pretty sweet. And then we're back into the grind of football. But if you want to talk about what it was like, the first week you can party with people, that's another story.
I mean, we can go into it. We can go into it, but I don't know how much you want to get today. But but that's cool, man. When I was at when, and I'm glad you got to go to the retreat, because retreat over I've I've been hearing more and more over time that the retreat has been such a pivotal moment for the young Black kids that get to school to understand who I'm around, who I'm with. And I'm glad you got to go, because I didn't get to go. I didn't think I could go when I was a freshman. So I'm glad that you went,
Oh, you missed
because
out, dog.
I did. I did. And like I found myself having to build those bonds one by one after the fact. And
Yeah.
that was a killer. But I did it.
Hey, you
So
did it though.
I ain't proud of
Yeah,
myself.
you did it.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So all right. So
100%.
so from football, how did you find the major of architectural studies?
So when I first got to school, I wanted to do some sort of business school, and then I quickly found out we didn't have one, right? Quickly. So I was not going to go do econ. I think like 90% of the kids who played sports did econ, and I was just like, that's not me. So I want to do. I'm very interested in design. I really like artwork, and that's just something that like I I just always love. I like to create. I like the sense of kind of like community and people coming together building projects. And architectural studies was a really cool kind of avenue that Tufts provided. So it was really, really cool. I learned obviously a ton about, there was engineering which was involved, which is, pretty hard as someone who doesn't really like math that much. So I got to learn a variety of just different, the way you think about it, from concept to actually putting, making angles align so this idea can work. And it really was cool because it was hands-on as well. Part of the major was actually spending 6 months working with a architecture firm, and they would set you up and they would actually put you in the real world. So you're actually doing computer-aided design to come up with, or you're actually building the drawing plans. And that was really, really sweet. But what I quickly realized, upon finishing, is that I just actually don't want to do this for a living full time. Like, yeah, this is pretty sweet, but I want to live in the house. I don't want to film at the house. And at the end of the day, a lot of these things that are being created is affordable housing. You're not building your own kind of, pimp ass bachelor thing that swings off the side of the cliff, right? I mean, that's what you want to do. But
No
no,
Frank Lloyd Wright kind of houses off the, yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, you gotta, like, that's a very, very hard, avenue to get into. But entrepreneurial leadership was a very, very good thing, a very good major. I recommend it to anybody because that just teaches you like real skills. Like, it teaches you business skills, it teaches you communication skills, and it just teaches you how to think about, how companies actually work. Because every company has to create money somehow. Okay, how are they creating money? What does the back end look like? And that's what they are providing you in real time.
Mm. Would you consider entrepreneurial leadership to be like the mini MBA?
The mini MBA.
Yeah, like
I mean,
masters in business administration.
MBA. Oh, yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. And I feel like, because you have to build a business plan and get your numbers correct, right? That is hard. Like, you have to put the hours in, you have to put the time in, you have to put you have to be very, very thoughtful. And I would say I'd spend a lot of, and the courses that you get to choose from are fantastic, because you can kind of, it's a minor, so you can kind of make it whatever you think is interesting to you. Obviously, there's some core ones that you have to take, but then you kind of get to like freestyle with it. So I do think it is very, very cool based on the interests or your interests, and you're able to, you learn a ton. Like, I can't, I'll leave it at that. You learn so much.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Our guy Marcel did it, and I was like, damn, I wish I did, because like he was doing sociology and EO and entrepreneurial leadership. I wish I did.
Yeah, boss.
Yeah. He was doing the right thing. I was just out here. Don't worry about me though. I'm just floating out here, man. Oh man. So
Oh, you're funny.
I try. Now, after describe your 4 years through Tufts. So even though through the football, through the EL, through the entrepreneurial leadership, through the architectural studies or architectural sciences, describe your 4 years at Tufts. What would you give me a phrase where to describe your 4 years at the school?
To describe my 4 years at the school,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I'm giving you
dude,
a phrase.
it was a vibe, man. It was an absolute vibe. And it was so cool because, I mean, the way that the campus is also set up, like you're going over a hill or you're going down a hill and you get to see the views of Boston, and it is pretty. It's just a gorgeous piece of landscape, dude. And I mean, you have friends who live all over the place. So you're constantly going, across campus, you're going, dining I'm going to come over after, perfect. Like it was, I mean, I really, really enjoyed, the sense of community that it provided in all 4 years. I really felt like it was a very, very diverse place, but also, it was compact, a very compact, diverse place. And God, it was a fun time, man. I mean, you think about your own experience.
I mean, I could, but I gotta talk to you about that, man, because you the man right now. you the man, yo. I gotta talk to you about your experience. People been knowing about mine. I ain't do nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyways. So I see over your right. So I got me some art over here. Not mine, obviously, because I ain't got pockets like that. But it seems that you got something over there, and I don't know if you got pockets like that or you got the flick of the wrist like that. So, which is it?
Rob, I like to paint. So this is an example. I find signs, around the place, and I love to paint on signs. So,
yes,
side hustle, side hobby, which is a relaxing and soothing. It's like yoga, yeah.
I feel that, and I know that, but the people gotta know this, man. Very important.
No. Okay, so if you want to go back, I've painted my entire life. It's something that I've always loved to do. I think it goes back to why I did my major as architecture, because I like being creative. So this is something I did in high school. I was in an AP art class in Boston College High School, and it's just, I'm so happy I stuck with it. Everyone minus people who took photos, everyone kind of stopped doing that thing, but I just kept pushing it, and now it makes me pretty good money on the side. So it's a good thing if you're creative. One thing I will say is just don't ever stop. Like, just keep pushing it. Just keep pumping out gas.
There you go. So a message to the creatives, man. You gotta keep that thing pushing.
You gotta keep it pushing, man. You have to.
I like it. And then I see the board behind you. I think you told me that was all the people that owe you money for them paintings.
We got a list. Yeah, you gotta keep that list strong, man. I don't know. It's probably like 20 grand on that board or something.
Casual.
Casual. Venmo only. /J Rob.
Hey, there you go. Plug your stuff, man. I want to hear that. Venmo /J Rob. What's your cash app?
/Justin Roberts YB.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
Do you do commissions?
I do all the time.
Okay.
I think I have 3 or 4 that I need to get to as we speak. So the list keeps growing, man.
So I know. So your art style is drawing on the signs. What inspired the style of you drawing on a sign, because obviously the stuff I have behind here is oil based, very like very chunky, very matted style of painting. But yours back there, there is your style seems to be very even though even though it's still a very blended style, a very let's say if you were looking at a reflection off a puddle, that's what that to me that's what it looks like. But it's very flat. It's very flat because it has to match the surface of the sign. So the canvas, what gave you the inspiration of using a street sign for your paintings?
That's a good question. I would say it's two things. Number one, I love graffiti. And I think like even the way I write, even the way like my penmanship is, I've just always loved graffiti. And you know, you see street signs, they're tagged up with graffiti. The other thing is, so that was number one, leading to why like I just thought that was a cool canvas. The other thing is, if you think about it, you're driving in the dark. Why can you see a stop sign, 80 yards in front of you? Because it's reflecting. So this thing is glowing. This thing has an innate power in itself. It's a diamond, right? In a sea of black in the middle of the night when there's no street lights. So I just thought that because it has that kind of reflective nature to it, it could be so cool. So as the sun sets, this thing, I don't know if you can even see it kind of glowing behind me. Like you can see the contrast of, what the border provides with the sign. I think it's pretty cool.
Hey man, I think I'm going to skip the question about the sourcing, and we're going to skip towards something else.
Hey man, I'm liberating. It's liberation. I'm liberating the song.
Well, here's a good question then. They're doing so in Massachusetts right now. They're redoing all the exit signs. They're renumbering all of them. So it may be a good opportunity for you to get some of the exit signs, like the humongous over the highway exit signs. If you can
I
get
don't have any place to
those,
put that. Where am I going to put that?
backyard.
I don't got any place to put that.
The
See,
backyard.
I work very well. I work with the 2x2, the 4x4, the 3x3. You can catch me outside with the 12x12 even.
But J. Rob needs a mural. You know what I mean?
Oh, son, when I go back to New York, we might talk, to some building owners, possibly, right? Then we can start playing. That's something we could do.
Oh, hey. See, people, I'm here. I'm over this. I'm just a plebeian making suggestions to J. Rob. J. Rob already got the plan in mind. Plan in motion. Don't even worry about me. Ain't a little more dangerous than a man with a plan. This man already got it. So don't mind me, boss. I'm just interviewing, man.
Hey, man, I'm here with you.
So switching gears back from the hobby or from the passion projects over to what keeps your lights on. I know you're in sales and I know you're in SEO. How from Tufts and after graduation, how did you get from graduation to where you are now?
That's a good question. So after graduation, I was looking for a job for a little while, and I wanted to figure out, okay, what can pay me the highest. So I was looking at tech companies on Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, just looking at what was hiring and what I thought was interesting. And then I stumbled across this company called Bright Edge, and I had no idea what SEO is, but I saw that the base salary was like $65,000. And if you could make, you could make like 90,000 your first year if you're hitting your target. So that job is an SDR. An SDR is a sales development representative, or it goes by BDR, business development representative. So I did that role for a year. And obviously that role's tough, right? You're cold calling people and you're trying to like set meetings. But at the end of the day, like I took it as a joke. Like I get to just pick up the horn and just prank call this fool and ask him if he wants to take a meeting with me. I'm just laughing the whole time. And they say yes. And then after, you make your way through that, and then you actually get to sell the product. So now I'm selling this technology that I used to cold call. I don't have to cold call anymore. Thank God that's in the past. Now we get to actually sell the product. So I sold the product for a year, and now I find myself on the post-sale side of things, where I run a book of business of $16 million, and my job is to essentially just keep my clients happy. So my clients range from, actually, I don't even want to name my clients, it's personal. But I got 150 of them. So great relationships with them. Just got to make sure that they're seeing success. And if there's any fires, they can come to me and we'll take care of it. You need more product? Here you go, right? We're not happy with this person. We got to switch them up. So it is a very, it's a very relationship built, and it's just asking for, are you happy? Are you going to continue? All right. If you're not, what do we got to do to keep you to continue?
So right now your role is account relationships as well as dealing with business to business. So making sure that the business is happy, and you're making sure that they like your product, and whatever you want, we can do, or we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, we're in this together, right? I mean, I'm not trying to sell you. You're now using this tool, right? You're using this platform, and I want to make sure you have the best experience possible with this platform. So, okay, you need more time with your customer success manager, the person who meets with you on a bi-weekly basis. Okay, perfect. We can set up another ad hoc meeting. Happy to do that. Whatever we can do to make sure that you feel that you're getting the most out of this, we're here to support you. I mean, are we going to do the work for you? No, you got to do the work, but we're going to tell you everything you need to do to be successful, right? That's the whole point of this thing. So at the end of the day, it's a two-way street. We're going to tell you exactly what to do. I can't make you do it. You can only lead a horse to water. I can't make the horse drink it, right? And so, some people are just upset, and that's just business, and some people are really happy, and that's also business. So it's ebb and flow, man.
So does your company also run numbers and analytics for those businesses to be like, hey, if you change up your headings, or if you change up your keywords, or if you change up your alt text, you could get X amount more impressions and therefore buys on what you're trying to sell? Does your company?
Yeah, so it's essentially you're talking about climbing the ranks of Google so say you're Yankee Candle, and say you're a mom and pop candle shop, and your mom and pop candle shop trying to sell a lavender candle. So obviously you have, big ballers like Crate and Barrel, and people who are selling thousands of candles. So they're probably in the top, 10 positions. So as the software we do, we look at the top 10 ranking positions, we see what they're doing well, and then we look at what you're currently doing, and we give you recommendations. This is what the top 10 ranking pages are doing. This is what you should be doing, right? And then we can tell you exactly what you should change on your website to be able to compete with the people who are playing.
Okay, so it's basically the average of top 10, then hey, here's the blueprint for what these guys are doing, and here's a fast way for you to compete with them. Have you ever had companies try to buck the trend and be like, I want to do it this way. How can you help me do it this way, but make me compete with them? For example,
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, if you have your beliefs in something, I'm going to show you what the data is saying, and I'm going to tell you why the data is saying that you're wrong. This is what Google is saying. I don't care if you think this is the way it should be done. This is what the data is pointing to. That's why all decisions aren't based off belief. Decisions are based off of data. I'm going to look at data. I'm going to trust data every single time. I don't care what Joe has to say. I don't care that he did it 20 years for that way. It doesn't matter. This is what the numbers are saying. Are you not going to believe the numbers?
So basically, if you want to play in the Google land, you gotta follow the Google rules. And I'm telling you, exactly.
Google is an anarchist, and they are going to they set the tone every single time. Every single time.
Damn. Good stuff, man. You're feelings, F your feelings, man. If you're trying to get money, I'll help you out, but feelings?
Yeah, I don't have time for that. You're wasting both. You're wasting both of our time. I could be on another call right now.
Now I'm here because I want to help you win. But if you don't want to listen to what I'm telling you, then we're just wasting both our times, man.
Dude, you are. Like I could be talking to somebody else who wants to, and buy more from me, right? That I'm not here to. I'm gonna tell you home. I don't even want. You already heard what I had to say. I get into this conversation. Go ahead.
When was the last time you had to break it real to somebody and you just hurt their feelings?
Earlier this week. 2 days ago. Because it's this guy's like 62 and he just doesn't understand. Yeah, he's like, we've been doing it this way for the past 40 years. And I'm like, no, I get that. But that's not what is now happening. There is a shift. There is a shift in how people are thinking about things.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, if I had to go buy toilet paper, at the store, why would I go do that anymore? If I can just order it to my house from online.
Right.
It's a different mindset. At the end of the day, the older you get, the more dinosaur age like you become. And like if you didn't get on the trend early, it is hard to catch up because it evolves way too quickly. Way too quick.
And that's the interesting thing about business these days, that because business moves so rapidly, people are trying just to catch up and get with the trend, especially with like old money, or long-standing businesses, because the long-standing businesses, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they've gotten their panache, their clout off of just being like a center of a established community. But now, because of the internet, is decentralized. So everything is for sale, and the lowest bidder, so a combination of the lowest bidder, fastest delivery time, and lowest price wins. So it's up to you.
Every time.
It's up to you on how you want to deliver your products, because if you want to sell high ticket, that's cool, but understand that someone can just undersell you, and it's a global market. So everyone can undersell you, not just Tyrone down the block, not just Sarah from up the road, not just Sally from in the valley. No, everyone can undercut you and outsell you based on how they want to run their business. So do you find that you had to give like that, like base level business advice about this is a new age and you have to compete at this level in order to even survive, even to keep your business alive?
That's a good question. So it depends on two things. It depends on who you're talking to, right? If you're talking to someone under 30, no. If you're talking to someone 55 plus, yes. And it also depends on what kind of industry they're in. And like if they're doing newspapers, right? I mean, or not, that's not a good example, but I mean, if they
like physical media,
what would be,
or physical,
or if they're doing something that that doesn't really require people to go online, if they don't have a high audience for it, it doesn't really make sense. That's when like a company's just big, fat, and happy, and they've just been doing the same thing because an example would be like hospitals. A lot of hospitals don't, because everyone has to go there eventually if they need something, and people aren't going to fly across thousands of miles unless you specifically are no, let's not talk about that, just because I guess I would say the real two things are, it's who you're talking to, and it's what kind of industry you're in. Those are the really two things that dictate the way you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but yeah, when it comes to specifically having to educate people on this thing, for the most part, everyone goes to their phone, or everyone goes to the computer to go look up whatever they're looking for. Whether it be I'm hungry, I want to find food. Whether it be how do I get to this place. Whether it be what is the best or what happened what happened on the news today. People are gonna go online and go search.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And this also came up, right? And you're in sales, so you're going to appreciate this. I was speaking with a coworker today, and the coworker said like she taught her son to, look people in the eye, shake their hands firmly, stand up straight, don't slouch, stuff like great home training, right? She gave her son home training. She and the husband gave her son home training, and like, her son always thought like, man, you're being mean. You're making me do all this stuff. But then he started carrying it out, and he's like, what, 19 years old at this time, like today. He's in college, and he's like carrying it out. He's working with, he worked at the YMCA in Somerville, and people are like sending him gift cards and thank you letters because he just has like home training. He looks you in the eye, he shakes your hand, it's cordial, stuff like that. Have you found that for your clientele under, I'll give it 35. For clientele under 35, have you found that even though they may be very smart and knowledgeable about what they're doing in business, their people skills is lacking?
It depends on it also depends on who you're talking to, because when I have to talk to very technical people like engineers or developers, yeah, it's not there. But when I'm talking to people like who are in marketing, I mean, for the most part, these people like to communicate. They like to create. Like they're pretty good at communicating. But it really depends on the audience which you speak to. Because at the end of the day, the driest conversations are when you're talking to the tech dude who just is in the weeds all day long looking at numbers and code. That dude does not move the needle for me. That's where my deals go to die, honestly. But if I'm talking to the marketing person who has some, I like this product, as a person, the tech dude trying to tear this thing apart, and it's an audience-based thing for sure. Mm-hmm. But also on that note, like you don't even know, this business, or at least my business, is not a in-person business. Everything is done over the phone. It's rare that I see my client, right? Unless they're in New York City and I can go out and go, or there's a happy hour that we're hosting, like a company sponsored one where they'll come and show up. Otherwise, it's not. Like this is all done over the phone, and you build your relationship that way.
If you were to tell your 18-year-old self in Tufts how to get into the SEO game, would you tell him to do the exact same path, or what would you tell him to shortcut it? And people, he's just, turned on his lights because he got dimmers over there, fancy smancy over there.
You're funny. So sorry, if I were to tell someone how to get into the SEO game.
Yeah, if you were to tell your 18-year-old self, J. Rob with the hot top, how are you going to tell him to get into the SEO game straight, like from freshman year, J. Rob? How would you try to convince him that, hey, think about this in the future? Because
I would say sales makes you a good amount of money, and it is fun because it's a contact sport. And I played football, and I played basketball, and I love contact, and I love just, I love to laugh, I love to shoot the shit, and that is a very, I like to talk, and that's a good place to be able to do that. And it's fun when you're actually selling something that is good, a product that can show results, a product that's proven itself. Mm-hmm. And all those things, I wish I could sell myself as a younger kid, come do this, bro. Come do this. Come over here. But no, one thing I would do is say I would, if I'm interested in the industry, because I didn't know anything about it, I would have definitely learned and done some research and, what does the opportunity actually look like, right? Because you want to base everything on is this a good opportunity for me or not? Mm-hmm. So research and knowing that sales is nice.
Sales is lucrative. So going into like the world of sales, or just like the competitive world of sales, it's been popularized that you're in competition with the person to your left, person to your right to close a deal, and mm-hmm. you're, even though like you guys are all theoretically in the same team or the same company, you have a certain amount of deals to close in a month. This person got a certain amount of deals to close in a month. This person got a certain amount of deals to close in a month. does it ever get contentious amongst your peers or amongst your coworkers as far
Oh,
as?
of course, man. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to go to club. Club is fun. Everyone wants to be better than everyone else. And at the end of the day, that's when people become the best friends, because they're competing with each other. And everyone's on the team. So you're happy when people close deals. It's like, fuck, I wanted to close that deal. I wish that was my deal. Like, or if people don't close deals, it's like, oh, I could have closed that deal. So I mean, it's because you get that kind of banter back and forth. It makes it the sales floor. It is one of the funniest and funny. It's just a great place to be. The energy is out of control. It's awesome. Oh my God.
When we were talking previously, I know that, and previously meeting for the people, I talked to J. Rob on a earlier time, and we had to catch up because this is one of the young homies. I need to make sure he's doing good. And he told me about the chicanery that went on the sales floor, where it was just mayhem, or controlled mayhem, I'll say.
Controlled mayhem.
But when it comes to the competition, do you find that people how dirty does it get? Like, are people poaching deals from underneath other people, or it doesn't get that grimy?
No, I mean, if you see some tomfoolery going on in Salesforce, and it's like, what is going on here? You gotta call someone out. If you're in New York and the person's in Cleveland, you get them on the phone. What are you doing? I'm working this deal. Don't go behind my back. So I mean, or if you have been talking to this company and then the company reaches out to another person and then they try to take that deal because you have another person from the same company doing the same thing. I mean, yeah, man, people get upset about that. You can imagine.
I mean,
don't jeopardize my shit, right? Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, sales, correct me if I'm wrong, but sales is an industry where you eat what you catch. And if someone's taking your food away, then it can get contentious.
Yeah, man. So that is new business sales. If you have to be a hunter, right? You have to go hunt and go get your deals. And now at this stage, I'm more of a farmer, where I'm just keeping my cattle healthy, right? That is exactly what I'm doing on a daily basis. So 24/7.
So how did you get from the entry level business representative, where you're doing cold calls, all the way to being the farmer? How did you get from being just the errand boy to having your farm?
A lot of hard work, a lot of calls, thousands and thousands of cold calls. A lot of late nights, a lot of learning how to actually sell the product. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know something like the back of your hand, you can't speak about it. But if you know what the back of your hand looks like, you can say, I have this wrinkle here. Oh, it does this. You got to be able to paint the picture. So I spent a lot of time, practicing by myself, in front of the mirror, listening to myself, recording myself, hearing how I speak, answering people's questions, objection handling. And, I had the opportunity from one of the VPs. He was like, you would be fantastic. We're starting this new position where we're going to have people who oversee the corporate book. We would like you to be an account manager if you would like to take the opportunity. And I jumped all over that. You start a new position at the company, 100%. Let me be a pioneer. I'm all in. And it has been a good ride so far. Now I'm doing this job for 3 years on, and we've been cruising, man. It's been good. Retention's gone up since we started.
Now just become even more invaluable to the company, which is always a good thing, man. Stake your claim.
Yeah, man, you have to. If you want to stay, if you want to continue to win, show you care. And I think coming with a positive attitude and wanting to be the best, I mean, you bring that to the table,
Mm-hmm.
No one can bring that to the table for you.
Right. Now, one cool thing you told me about but I want you to elaborate on it. You mentioned club. What the hell is club?
Club is what the company rewards their top performers. So people who have crushed their goal. So you have to be at 100% of goal or higher to qualify for club, and then club takes the best of the best. So last year I went to club. We went to Mexico, all paid at a 5-star resort for an entire week on the beach, which was amazing. I made club this year. Club is in Puerto Rico. It's going to be another 5-star, hotel on the beach. I mean, I was supposed to be there last month. This was supposed to be in April, but due to COVID, I think got pushed out to July. So see what happens in July. I just wish they give me the money for whatever they pay at the hotel, and I can just kind of get fucking back. But club is what the company does to reward, because they want the people to stay. They want to reward the people who have brought them a lot of money, right? And that it's important to them. It's a really big achievement. It really is.
And see, that's what's dope about this, man, because it's a really big achievement. But here you are, 2 years in a row. You're just like, man, I'll just take the money this time. Don't worry about that. I got my vacation out of it. Easy, the grace of ease.
Hey man, I mean, I just want to hit 3 years in a row, right? Because I'm on path to do so. And what are we, midway through the year? No, we're early May. Yeah, we're on our way. We're at 100% so far. You just gotta keep up the good work, right? I want to go out next year to Jamaica, right? That's what I'm trying.
Wait a minute now. No. Go ahead, man.
Nah, man. You gotta keep your hand on the wheel, hand on the wheel.
10-2, baby. So
10-2.
So now, let's do this. So, is there any higher up you can go in the company at this point?
Yeah, I mean, there are more tiers. So I am a senior strategic account manager. I can become a principal strategic account manager, and then I think it becomes a director at some point. But, I mean, I've had a ton of fun here. I've had a ton of good success here. But I mean, I'm not sure if I'm ready to leave, but I definitely might want to find myself learning maybe paid advertisement as opposed to organic advertisement. Maybe try something else out in a couple of years, something with more potential. Like one of my best friends, his name's Ramiro. He works at TikTok, and that's paid search specifically what the role they're hiring for. So I do organic search. It'd be cool to kind of bridge the gap and learn both from a different perspective. And that company is taking off. That company is going through the roof right now. So when you find yourself, when you have the opportunity, or if you think something's cool, definitely learn more about it. And that's what I'm starting to do, learn more about paid advertisement, because I'm not going to be at Bright Edge forever, my company. I'm going to be, which I hope not, unless I run the places. But no, I mean, realistically, I definitely, I'm going to try to find a position which pays more and more and more and more. That's what I want, man.
Man wants to be in that 8-figure club. I respect it, man. 8 figures, baby.
Hey man, I'm trying. We want to.
So you're doing organic searches, which are based off of search engines. Now you said you want to get into paid advertising, which I'm guessing is print media.
No, paid advertising. Paid advertisement runs on the same. So the search engine is like, think about Google or Yahoo. Okay, if you think about it, if you type in black shoes, you see the advertisements at the top. So companies are fighting for those positions for those advertisements. They run, so the organic are all the blue links up below that you see. The paid ones literally say paid. So that is the difference, right? It's the channel is still the same. It's on the organic channel, but the paid ads sit on top of the organic channel.
Oh, so you will still be functioning within the search engine, but you want to be focused on the links that come up before the organic links.
Yeah, but just for like a different kind of product, right? Because I saw a platform which helps decipher Google. Now, when you have like an app, where people are trying to, you know, promote their own product, is a completely different kind of story.
Mhm. So what do you foresee as the hurdles that you're trying to get, that you want to delve into and eventually jump over when it comes to paid advertising?
I mean, I'm not even that far yet, man. I'd rather just paint and just do whatever my normal boogie right now. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just, you know, I mean, it's COVID right now. I'm not really trying to do too much. I'm just trying to hang out, do my job, pick up my paintbrush, and relax, man. That is that's on my mind. But you know, as when the city opens back up, I've been out of my office for over a year, and it feels like a year and change. You know, I don't even know what the thing looks like anymore. So I'd like to go back to see, you know, come in the office, who's not dead, sound off, right? Like that. Let me know. Because at the end of the day, dude, maybe people are gone and positions, you know, new positions are open. I don't know. You feel me?
Oh man. Yeah, hey, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong, man. And you know, it's a certain aspect that, you know, at some point, like this year, this past year, we've stared a very bleak future in the face, and to be able to laugh about it, it's good. It's good, man. It's
Oh man, yeah, buddy. Yeah, it is what it is.
it is what it is, and it be what it be, man. So,
Yeah, dude.
so
Oh,
that's
Rob, that's funny. No, but no, I know we've been on this for an hour. And is this good content? Is this what we needed?
of course what is needed, man. Of course what is needed. So you know, got two questions, and I'll let you go, man. So, where do you see yourself in 18 months?
In 18 months, hopefully, I will be in an apartment in Brooklyn, living my best life. You know, working. You know, hopefully not in the office every day. You know, some flexibility, go in when I need to, be able to stay at home, paint. But I hope to be, you know, at least promoted one more time. And I hope to make club, and I hope to continue to sell artwork. You know, and I just think, you know, getting my apartment, moving back to New York after this storm is over. I just want to see how life kind of bounces back. You know.
Good stuff. And then lastly, describe how the Black community played a part for you at Tufts, because you alluded to it with the Africana Center trip, but I want you to try to. I would like for you to expound on that, because that's what we're here
Yeah, absolutely. So they were the Africana Center was the people who set up this trip originally. So they were allowed me to see everyone who looked like me around the campus right off the cuff.
for.
So it was like I could go up, or I could wave to someone across the street, you know, and be like, "Oh, I recognize you," you know, which was fantastic. And also having, you know, I had Keen, Iffy, Pat on the team. You know, we had 4 Black guys together, so we were, you know, all, you know, we had each other, which was always great. And then obviously, you know, our teammates, we loved each other. So we'd always hang out together. We'd always do our thing. We'd always go to practice. And I think one of the cool things is that the Africana Center was always a place of community, right? Where you could always go and hang out. And for the most part, I mean, me, Iffy, Pat, I mean, that was a safe place for us, because that kind of gave us the first look at, okay, this is a haven, you know, if we ever have any issues, or if I ever need to see people. But I would say, because I played football and basketball, I mean, I never really felt like I needed a community, because I already had 2. I already had 2 families. And I never really looked at like, oh fuck, like there's not enough Black people here. just because I was on sports teams where there were Black people. I was never trying to find my own way. And then never needed guidance to go. Can I go hang out with these guys? So my experience is going to be a little different simply because I had two families, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. And then last question now, I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna let you go. If you had to give the young cats at the school some advice on just the common day and age, and being, if you were to give some cats advice that you wish you would have gotten when you were there, what would you tell them?
Oh man, make the most out of it because it goes so quick. Have fun. Don't ever be sad. And if you're not doing something, go do something because there's always something happening. And that's a magical place. It's a magical place.
So in short, get from behind your computer, get from behind your phone, go outside and do something.
And go do something because something's happening somewhere. Whether it be on the quad, whether it be at the football field, whether it be at the Africana house, something's happening somewhere. Someone's doing something.
Exactly. And people, it may be whack. Students, it may be whack at the school. You may think it's whack. We thought it was whack too, but we still made it. We still made it happen, man. And that's the most important part about it. So, J-Rob, thank you, sir. I want you to plug all the stuff, plug everything, because trying to get you paid out here, man. So, So first off, the Bright Edge. What's Bright Edge? If people want to hit you up for SEO products, if companies want to hit you up for SEO, where can they find you as part of Bright Edge goes?
Just type in Bright Edge realistically and book a demo, and you're off. You're live. But if you want to learn more about what the company does, obviously you can look it up. You can reach out to me. Rob will probably drop my link in here, my LinkedIn or something. So feel free to reach out. But yeah, Rob, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time today.
I gotta plug the personal stuff too, man. I gotta get you paid for them paintings, dog. Come on now.
I work on the paintings. Son. Find me on Instagram, J.R0B. I'll drop the link there too.
There you go. How much you charge, man? Commission, like you have to negotiate the price, or is it by
we can talk about it.
There you go. People, go get yourself a custom J-Rob sign, okay? Hang it up. It's better than the stop sign that you stole off of Broadway and MLK Boulevard. Trust me. Man, I'm sorry.
oh my God, you're mad funny. You are mad funny.
I do what I can. So, J-Rob, Mr. Roberts, Justin, hey, thank you. Appreciate it. I wanted to reach back to you, but thank you for coming on. Thank you for kicking some game to the young ones and to the people who may need some youthful, may need a youthful jab in the arm, because they gonna come to you, man. I'm gonna show you.
You're kind. You're kind, bro. You're kind. Well, Rob, you have a good evening, boss. It's great to see you. And we'll be in touch soon.
We'll be in touch soon, boss. Thank you.